So, as we know, there's a new balance update coming out to the game, and then I'm just making this video to speculate what character is going to get buffed, nerfed, slightly nerfed, or maybe nothing will happen to them. So let's quickly run through the characters. I believe the patch notes are going to be out either today, tomorrow, or the next day, but I know the update is on Thursday, so hopefully we'll get it before then. So for Kuni, I think she will stay the same. Maybe make FC Dumper 3 track a little bit less, but other than that, I think she's okay. Gangryu can stay. Don't think there's anything wrong with him, so I think he's in a good spot. He can stay. Safina, I think her backdash will get nerfed a little bit. I think Rage Drive frames will get nerfed a little bit. Like it's very hard for a lot of characters to fight Safina because of her movement. Like in the game where a lot of characters don't really have good movement compared to her, so I think her backdash is going to get touched for sure. Julia, I think she will get off lightly because she got nerfed in the last patch, so I think they might be content with her and then just leave her as she is, or like slightly nerfed again, but I think she'll get off lightly. Marduk, I feel like people don't really complain about the character enough. I think he'll get slightly nerfed. I would hope he will get slightly nerfed because I think Downfort 1 needs to be touched a little bit, like tracking nerf on it, and then Rage Drive to be toned down a little bit, but other than that I think it's okay. Anna, she's kind of weird because she can be really good or she can be really bad, so it's hard to change something about Anna. Like maybe some of her frames could be a bit better, but like her damage could be toned down a little bit because she gets a lot of damage off random guesses, but we'll see. Geese, I think its damage will be toned down because this character can murder you off a single standing to, so I think his damage is going to get toned down a little bit, maybe in exchange for something else, hopefully. Eliza, I don't know what they could do with Eliza. I think she'll get buffed a little bit. Like the Den Jab nerfed in Season 4 was huge in my opinion, but she got some nice changes, like the new Moonlight 1-4. So I think they'll either buff her a little bit or leave her alone. Noctis, I think, will get buffed a little bit. Like the character doesn't get seen a lot. I think in tournaments, like you have Fee in America and you have Jotaro in Japan, but other than those two, I don't think he gets much representation. And of course, he Bolt in Europe, but he's not really like competing much in ICFCs anyway. So the character doesn't get like a lot of attention on him, in my opinion. So maybe he'll get like buffed. I think he'll get buffed. Lei, now I'm sorry, Lei players, but this character is not fun to play against. I hope he doesn't get buffed, but I think at this point he will most likely get some buffs for him. Armor King, now Murray already teased Armor King's going to get a lot of changes, so probably good changes as well because he's considered quite weak by a lot of players. So and Murray teased that he's got a lot of changes, so let's see how it goes. Negan, I have no idea. I think Negan's got a good spot. I don't think he needs anything. They can leave him alone, in my opinion. Leroy, I mean, they nerfed Leroy, then they nerfed Leroy, and then nerfed Leroy, and he's still top 10 somehow. Like he's still somehow top 10, or just barely outside of it. I think they'll make back 1+2 maybe unsafe, or they will make Den 3-2 less adventurous on hit, or maybe Den 3-2 to be a bit slower, so it doesn't like frame trap off a lot of things. Maybe it'll make the parry follow-ups unsafe. I actually would really like that. So you can jab check Leroy safely in most situations, and you recover in time to block the follow-up. I think that'll be a really nice change. Aquaman, honestly, the character is hideous. I would say anyone even likes him, so might as well just kill the character, man. He's definitely the worst new Tekken 7 character. Just nuke him. Lydia, Murray already mentioned that Lydia is going to get a lot of changes, so I would say recovery changes, like recovery nerfs, and then maybe some buffs on some moves. I think that's what she'll get. Otherwise, she'll be just nerf her recovery, and she'll be in a really good spot, and maybe buff one or two little things. Raven, I think she's fine. Like I don't think it means change anything about Raven. I would make maybe the wall damage toned down a little bit, but I think she's okay. Nina's a weird spot because I think Nina is very, very strong. But because she's so rare and so difficult to play, that you don't really see Nina's potential being maximized very often. So it's hard to say what they could do with Nina. They could make Denmark 3 a bit closer on hits. But I think she's in a very good spot. I don't think you need to change anything about Nina. Yoshimitsu is pretty bad in my opinion. He could do a little bit of help. Like maybe just make... He will maybe get buffed, I think. Just make some frame data a little bit better. Like on his Denmark 4, on his Denmark 1. Like some of his basic pokes, maybe make them a little bit better. And you could go along with it. Dragunov, I mean, probably better hitbox on his mids. I think that's the main complaint about the character. Just like improve the hitbox on his mids, and then I think he'd be alright. Horang, I think they will leave him alone. I don't think they will change anything about him. What I would personally ask for, now I might be a bit biased with Asuka, what I would personally ask for is Ray Flamingo stance back 3 to be a bit unsafer, like maybe -12, -13. But I think he's fine, he's in a good spot. Law, I also think he's in a good spot. I don't think he'd change anything about the character. Like, leave Law alone, I think. Shaheen, I think reverse the Den 3 damage nerf. I think that was a bit silly, that was a bit too much. I think revert that and then he's fine. Akuma, now, I'm gonna be biased, like, I do not like this character in the slightest. So just shoot him way down there, I don't care, just get rid of him. Kazuya, just make electric have more recovery and whiff, and then I'll be okay with Kazuya. Just, they shouldn't be so good and so free to throw out. So, recovery nerf, I think that's fine. Same Mahachi, recovery nerf and electric, and he'll be okay. Maybe improve his lows a little bit, but definitely electric recovery nerf. And Kazumi, make running. Now I've been playing Kazumi a lot recently, and one thing I would definitely change is Denmark 4 stun to come back, because I don't think it should be nerfed all the way to do nothing on counter hit. I think at least the toe stun should come back on counter hit, and also make running 1 and running 1 plus 2 inputs so we can dash job again, and then I think she's fine otherwise. Chloe, I think Chloe needs a lot of help. In my opinion, she is the worst character in the game. I think she needs a lot of help. Like, just make her lows a little bit better on hits. Like down 3 to be like neutral on hit or -1 on hit. And maybe not launch punch pull. They can make her combos a little bit more consistent. Like the Carly roll ender at the wall drops a lot. So they can make that a little bit better. Just like a bit more consistency on the character. Lily. Now the first tease that Murray posted was about Lily. And it's gotten a lot of people like kind of excited or despairing a bit, I suppose, if you look at it both ways. What could you do for Lily? I've always thought down 3 should counter it knockdown and maybe give a free 4-4-4-4 follow up or something like that. I don't think that would be too crazy. Downward 1 hitbox buff for sure, because her downward 1 right now is the worst in the game. So they definitely should like improve the hitbox on it. So I think Lily's gonna get buffed a lot if we're going by Murray's tweet. Lars, probably slightly buffed, but I don't know what they would change about him. Like they give him like the best wall carry in the game right now, like tied with Julia at least. So I don't know what they could give him, but I think he's gonna get buffed in some way. Xiaoyu, I think they will either slightly nerf her or they'll leave her alone. I think Denmark 2 is causing a lot of problems, so I think that's going to get looked at in some way. But other than that, I think Denmark 2 will get nerfed, but she'll get buffed in other ways a little bit. That's what I think with Xiaoyu. She's going to be like in the middle. Jack will probably get buffed. Like this character is, I know Joe Crush in America is doing well with Jack in the ICFCs, but other than that, he doesn't really get a lot of representation. So I think he's going to get buffed. He's going to get buffed. I don't know what they will change, but I think it'll be something. Lee, I think they will leave him alone. I don't think he's changed anything about Lee. I think he's in a good spot right now. Maybe back 4 recovery nerf, but other than that, I think Lee's in a good spot. I don't know where they would start with bears. Like, I think just by design, they just can't be good. Like, because of their movement, there's stuff that works only on them because of their hurt box. So I think just by design, they'll never be good. So I don't know what they could change with the bears. But maybe them back to counter at knockdown. Like, that seems to be a trend in Tekken 7. Like, just make something counter at knockdown, or make something counter at launch instead. But with bears, maybe slightly more range on their legs. Maybe them back to knockdown. Mostly Miguel, I think, is fine. Maybe Savage 2, less push back and block. That's something I would like. Savage 2 to be less push back and block. So you kind of like just do it and then still kind of reset to neutral because of his movements. And Savage back 1-4 is such a crazy addition to his pressure. But other than that, I don't think they need to do much with Miguel. I think he's okay. Bob, CD1 recovery nerf, and I'm okay. Like, nerf CD1, and then I don't care. Like, he can be alright. He's alright after that, I think. Bren, hatchet kick, this Corso back 3. I think it's hatchet kick. Yeah. Make it track less. Make it easier to sidewalk left. Either that or make it Maz 14, and then I'm okay with Bren. But one of those two things needs to happen. His hatchet kick is extremely strong right now. It's one of the best lows in my opinion. Something has to be done better. Like, nerf the counter, reverse the counter property, make it minus 14, or make it easier to sidewalk left. One of those three things, and Brian can keep the rest of the stuff. I don't care. King, I mean, I think he's fine. Maybe 4-for-1 to be more minus on block, or I think he's alright. Otherwise, I've no really complaints about King. Steve is fine. I think. Like, it took a while, but I think he's pretty normal now. They don't need to do anything with him. Like, leave him alone. Paul, I want Rage Drive to be minus on block against the wall, because he shouldn't have this big, juicy, rewarding mid option in a scary mix-up situation, but still be adventurous at the wall. So I will make it minus on block against the wall bends. Other than that, it's fine. I think he's fine. But like, his wall game is just too strong with Rage. Josie, I don't know what they could do with Josie. Like, she's a bit weak in my opinion right now. They would probably buff Josie a little bit. I don't know what they would do, but they would probably buff Josie a little bit. Katarina, I like Katarina a lot, so I might be a little bit biased, but I don't know what they could do with her. Like she's another one of those characters that's in a good spot, but there's so many characters above her. They're like pretty overtuned. So if those characters were to get nerfed, and Katarina would naturally just go up. Like, her character as a whole is fine by itself, but it's just in the grand scheme of things, right? But there's one thing I would really like. I would like hopkick range to come back. Like, they can leave the crushing behind, but just bring the range of the hopkick back. But other than that, I'm actually pretty happy with Katarina in this season. Oh, and maybe one more thing. Maybe FC Den 3 to be less minus on block, so she has a safer FC low option in her mix-up, in her FC mix-up option, like a safer low, rather than committing to the FC Den before. That would be really cool. But other than that, I think she's okay. Jin, I think, is also okay. They don't need to do anything to Jin. I think he's in a good spot as well. I think reduce the damage on the wall ender, the back 2, 3, up forward, whatever it's called. I think reduce the damage on that. Revert the den back 2 change. That was so unnecessary. The den back 2 counter hit, so unnecessary. Revert that. Reduce the damage on the wall ender, and like the other two, reduce the electric recovery I'm with, and then I'm okay with him. I think he's okay. Like, someone has to be strong, but some of the stuff he has is a bit too much. Claudio, I think, like, it's hard to do something with Claudio without making him really weak or really broken. I think back one could do with a recovery change or recovery nerf. Maybe a bit closer on block. But I don't know, I think Claudio's fine, but I think back one needs to be touched in some way. And maybe sidestep 4 a little bit less range, so it's easier to escape mid-screen. Gigas. The Gigas is one of those characters where if you buff him too much, he's just gonna get super obnoxious and toxic to deal with, because he has very good tracking and range. It's very difficult to stop him. So I think maybe at most slightly buff Gigas, and I think he'll do really well when characters above him are brought down. So okay, maybe slightly biased here, but I actually don't want that much for Asuka. I just want some consistency with the character. So like sidestep 4 on counter it to be closer, because a lot of times she can't combo off sidestep. She can't combo off sidestep 4 on counter hit. I will make 1+2 more consistent, so it doesn't drop on some characters. I will make down for 3 her ground to hit and move to hit groundage at all angles, because right now it only hits at some angles, but it'd be nice if it hit every angle. But other than that, I think she's fine. She's got a good spot. Maybe nerf the Kitsubaki a little bit because it's pretty abusable right now, but I think she's okay. Alisa, make the FC low and make the chainsaw down 1 low to be -13 on block, and I don't care about Alisa. I think she's fine other than that, but those lows are way too much reward for what they are on block. Leo, I think she's another one of those characters that would benefit from other characters being nerfed. So I think make Danforth 1 track a little bit better, make Danforth a bit better on hit and block, and I think she's okay. I don't think they need to change much about Leo, just make her tracking a little bit better and that's it. Feng, no, I hate this character with all of my heart, but I'm going to try and be reasonable. I think he's fine, but Crossover Fort 1, in my opinion, should be -15, because it's way too much reward for what it does. Like it's a lot of damage. It's a counter hit launcher. You can't low parry it. It does a lot. So I think it'd be -15 would be pretty fair. But other than that, I don't really care. I mean, I care a little bit, but whatever. I think they'll leave him alone. Now, we saw Murray tweet that Eddie's going to get a lot of changes. We don't know what the changes are, if they're buffs or nerfs. But considering Eddie isn't that amazing, they were most likely buffs. Now, I'm a bit concerned because I believe that some characters should not be good for the health of the game. I'm coming from Tag 2. I'm a Tag 2 player where Eddie was a top tier character. It wasn't fun. It was not fun to play against. So I'm a bit scared that Eddie's going to be extremely toxic if he gets certain changes. So I'm very cautious about him. But it is probably most likely going to be buffs. And same as Kuma, they're just bad by design. I don't know what could help them. They're going to need something broken to make them like stack up with the rest. But I don't know. I don't know what to do with the Bears. I think they're just always going to be bad. So yeah, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now obviously this is my opinion, right? I know I have my bias. That's the thing about tier lists and opinions on characters. It is all subjective and it comes from the player's own personal experience of the game. So please don't come after me if I insulted your favorite character. You know, it's just a game, it's not that deep. Yeah, maybe you'll see the patch notes today, tomorrow, hopefully before the update actually drops. And the update is on Thursday, the 27th of this month. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm very excited. So let's see what happens. Thanks for watching.